In this video, I'm going to go over how to embed and hardcode subtitles using Adobe After Effects. Now, first off, why would you want to use Adobe After Effects as opposed to Xvid, for example, Xvid DPSP, as I explained in another tutorial? Well, Adobe After Effects allows you to have more control over the box that the text could be contained in. That's the main reason that I personally have used After Effects. Now, the method that I have is using a script someone else created, and that script I've not found to work on full sermons. So I only use this method on clips that are around 10 minutes or under 10 minutes. Obviously, someone could create a script that's updated with a newer version of After Effects that no doubt could do this a whole lot better. The idea of the script is that it takes the text layer and it's automatically keyframing the source text, changing its keys as it goes along the timeline. So let's go ahead and let me show you how to do this. So I've got After Effects open, and I'm going to drag in the video file. I'm just going to drag it right down here so that it will be inserted right at the start of the timeline, and I'm going to move that layer down. And obviously, if you're doing this, make sure you've downloaded the Hardcode-Subtitles After Effects project file. And as you can see right away, that is how I've stylized it. I've tried to imitate Facebook and YouTube, and they tend to have this black box that is opaque with rounded corners, and they tend to and with this font, robot font. So, and this is font size is 36. And so I've tried in this file to imitate what the professionals are doing behind these two massive companies. Okay, so we've imported our video file, and now what you have to do is you select the captions layer, and then you do File and Scripts, and you run a script file, and you will run the file subtitle import. And then it's going to ask you to select the SRT file. And so I'm going to select the SRT file. And now it's going to automatically create those keyframes using the script and basically key it. The source text will change exactly at the point that the SRT is saying when it should. And then the black dash container layer is automatically going to resize itself around that text. And so that's basically what's going on behind the scenes here with this. So this might take a minute. Okay, it just finished here. Now, as you can see, I'm not seeing anything, and this is a glitch. This script that this guy made that I found on the internet, it was from many years ago. And so what you want to do now is save your file, and you'll probably have something like this, creating keyframes, and then you just want to click up here and close the window. I know that is not convenient, but I like the way these subtitles look, and so for a lot of short clips, especially ones that I'm going to share directly on Facebook, I've taken the time to do this. And so if you're paying for the Adobe Creative Cloud software and you already have Premiere, this just gives you another option, because the subtitling in Premiere, it just does not look good as of 2019. So kind of hit the X again, and you're basically forcing it to close, which I realize this is not ideal. And if you're watching this in an After Effects guide, then please make a new script. So close the program, hit cancel there. Okay, I've reopened After Effects, reopened the project file, and there you have it. It is automatically, with the source text, changing these keyframes. and that black container is automatically changing, and so that's great. And you know, you obviously could go and select a keyframe and modify it if you wanted to move it up or down, or if you wanted to change all of them, just select the layer and let's change that position. So I could put it up here if I wanted to, and it changes the position on all of them. So if you want it further down to the bottom, you could do that. So the next thing you just have to do is extend these layers all the way to the end of the video. And then let's extend the timeline, and then go ahead and zoom in there. And yeah, we had it end right there. It looks good. Now, as you can see here, that black background is there. So when there's no more text, I will take the black container and end it there. So now nothing shows up there. Okay, so depending on how you export something, prefer to export something from After Effects, I tend to add to the Adobe Media Encoder queue. Okay, it's loaded in the queue, and I obviously need to change some settings. H.264, and then I'll name this Spanish You Can Learn to Be Content by Jeff Thomas. Use maximum render quality, and then I'll do a 4 bit rate, and then you can look down here to make sure and all looks good. And so then we'll hit OK, and we'll go ahead and render this. Okay, it's rendered, and now let's see what this looks like.
Contentment be found. And so often Christians admire.
Now you can see that. Now I'm going to play another way of embedding subtitles. You can compare it. And let's see, we're at around 20 seconds. Hit play. So notice the two. You know, different people are going to think different ways. But personally, aesthetically, and on the eyes, I think the one on the right is far more readable. And obviously, I think that's how YouTube and Facebook tend to show their subtitles. So this is a method. If all you have is the Adobe set, this is how you can do this with Adobe After Effects on shorter clips. And I'm sure there's already a script out there that does the same thing of keyframing the source text to an SRT or with an SRT. And so if someone finds that on translatesermons.com, please, you can post that information, and this page could be updated. I'll also mention that this style here, you can get the exact same thing using Camtasia. And the Camtasia right now in 2019 September is my most preferred method. I can do a full sermon and render it a whole full sermon in around 30 minutes. That's very good render time, and you don't have a ton of control over the subtitles, but the way they default have them show is just like this right here, and I think it looks great. And it's a whole lot easier than using After Effects, so I'm no longer using After Effects to render the subtitles. I'm using Camtasia. And that I'm also no longer going to be using the XVID for PSP program as well, because After Effects I couldn't do full sermons like this, but now with Camtasia I'm able to do that. Camtasia obviously costs money, but that will all be touched on in another video. With Camtasia is another way to embed subtitles into the video. Okay, thank you.